Honorable members, please be seated. We will resume committee and invite the Honorable Minister of Housing and his staff. Honorable members, let's turn to pages 246 and 247. Honorable members, at 6:22, I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 45, Ministry of Housing, Program 451 current stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 45, Program 451 current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Let us turn to page 537. And I propose a question that the sum stated for Agency 45, Program 451, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for Program 451, capital stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated stands part of the estimates. We can turn to pages 248 and 249. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 45, Program 452, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable MP?
Good afternoon. Mr. Chair, with reference to Volume 2, page 217, Indicator 11, can the Honorable Minister state how many allottees are currently awaiting transport titles despite making full payment?
Honorable Minister?
Mr. Chairman, for those who have signed and are waiting, their title will both depend on which area, so the certificate of title or transport, would be in the estimation maybe about 5,000. I'm referring here to persons who have signed, because you will have persons, for example, who have not signed the agreement, right?
Thank you. Honorable Minister, follow-up. Can the Minister inform this House what is the number of backlogs according to the pending applications, new applications, and transport titles?
Honorable Minister?
The number of backlog for
Pending applications, new applications, and for the transports and titles.
Mr. Chairman, I can go into some details, but can I get the line item of which it falls under?
She's dealing with the general policy.
Yeah.
And we've allowed some discussion on the policy for which the allocation under this head.
So, for example, pending applicants in the system, so I'll take them one by one. Pending applicants in the system, Region 1, 187, Region 2, around 1,900. I'll just round it off. So 1,900, Region 3, 9,500, Region 4, 50,000, Region 5, 3,400, Region 6, 8,000. Region 7, 300. Region 8, 65. Region 9, 850. Region 10, 3,000. Those are the pending applicants we have in the system.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Minister. Another follow-up question.
Go ahead.
What system would be in place to deal with these backlogs?
So, Mr. Chairman, I want to allude to our public commitment. And so, first of all, we've committed that we will clear all of the backlogs in all of the regions and recognizing the volume that we have in Region 4, we will still work assiduously to reduce that amount. That also is dependent on availabilities of access to lands, etc. And also, do not forget, we have a commitment that we are building at least 40,000 houses over these 5 years. So if you take that into consideration, when I, of the 70 plus, 75,000 plus, if you take into consideration that of that region 4 alone is 50,000, that will tell you that obviously we will reduce region 4 by a great margin too. What are we doing? We have, if I can go into the project, because the answer is actually in the projects that I have here. So it's on the capital. I don't know if I can go straight into answering them
You
or
can.
wait until we reach the capital.
No, let's take the cap when we reach the capital.
Right, but general answer before we go into those details. What are we doing? We are accessing, acquiring lands first of all, and then simultaneously, once we acquire, we do the necessary design, as well as tendering for the work, the infrastructure works. And so work has already started in that regard to ensure that we will meet our commitment.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Member, Ms. Cornelius. Honorable Members, I now put the Honorable Member, Mr. Mahi. forward.
Thank you, sir. Sir, 6321 Central Housing and Planning Authority. Would the Honorable Minister be kind enough to tell us the salary, on the wages and salary, the salary of the CEO of Central Housing and Planning, please, and benefits?
So, Mr. Chairman, the whole aspect of what we have here is not just on this allocation, would not be just the salary for the employees for CHPA. There are other expenses. But to answer your question directly, the salary for the CEO of Central Housing and Planning Authority is $1,229,794. That's his basic salary.
And his benefits, Mr. Chair? The allowances, sorry?
Sure. So in addition, he also gets duty allowance, as in contracted. The twice, say the 2 6 months gratuity, duty allowance of 110,000, and the vacations 1 month.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Member, Mr. Duncan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Minister, under the same line item that my colleague posed that question, could you tell us in terms of oversight for the projects that you run for this new fiscal year? I noticed that the budget has gone up tremendously, 31%. Could you tell us if there's a sum in there for additional, perhaps maybe housing inspectors, or how we provide additional oversight for the scale of what you're trying to do?
So thank you. So that is why you will recognize that our staff complement has gone up a little in the projects department. So for example, in the actual project department that we're speaking about, that section alone we're talking overall 465 staff complement for CHPA. of which majority are from the projects division. We have also been working closely with, like Ministry of Public Works, we have also been engaging those from University of Guyana. So generally, a student who's coming out from University of Guyana, by the time they are graduated, they're already under whether Ministry of Public Works or Ministry of Housing. They already have an opportunity to be able to continue to be employed under those ministries. But we have strengthened our monitoring. And one of the other things that we'll do, which I'll come to in the houses, because you recognize we're doing more in the houses as a part of our commitment. We are doing a restructuring on the projects department. So yes, we have a housing unit, but that housing unit now will be further strengthened with some additional clerker works as well as engineering technicians to be able to effectively help with the monitoring on the construction side simultaneously. Because while we have infrastructure works on the roads, our increased workload now includes the houses.
And Mr. Chair, through the chair, Minister, what kinds of numbers are you looking at there? And as you're answering that, I've noted also that this is external monitoring. How are you beefing up what's happening internally as well? I've noticed, for instance, in the 2024 Audit General report, there's some not too flattering things there about overpayments and weak internal controls, missing procurement documentation, a number of other things there spelled out. How are you guarding against this kind of repeat?
Yeah, so it starts first of all from the top, from the officer, the officer responsible for accounting and the permanent secretary. So that's one level that we'll be doing some strengthening. His inventory also has the capacity to be able to further employ. And while the project department has engineers, he can also employ the engineers as well, relevant staff to support in terms of monitoring from the top. And then directly now through Central Housing and Planning Authority, in terms of that's led now by the CEO, that we have first of all a every Monday meeting where all the projects are reviewed and the ministers are part of that meeting. In addition to that, government, right through all the sectors, we also are benefiting from a new platform that has been established, whereby all the projects are listed there. And so you have real-time information on every aspect of a project under the ministry, whether it's delayed, how much is delayed by, uh, aspects of if you have other challenges that can be dealt with. So we have in beefed up or in terms of review, but this is done weekly now because quality control is important. And I'm not naive to a lot of complaints that we've had recently in terms, for example, with the houses. Not so obviously not so much on the other type of infrastructure, but so we're cognizant of what is required to ensure that we have the best value.
Mr. Chair, Minister, how are you guarding against, appreciate the response, how are you guarding against, for instance, fraud where land might be being sold, not through the legal channels, through CHMP? I think there was at least one instance of that quite recently. Just yesterday, I think I saw a notice out, an individual, I think in Maka. How are you trying to prevent that going forward?
But for clarification, though, I'll answer you. Well, not every notice refers, not every time you see somebody, they refers that they've committed a fraud. I just want to put that clarity. But in terms of fraud, yes, we do have it. We do have innovative methods sometimes people embark on. We have an enforcement department. In fact, that enforcement department is headed by once a former acting commissioner of police. So you'll understand the level of which we have somebody responsible. They work in close collaboration with the Guyana Police Force. One of the area that we have a weakness in is there are a lot of times when the witnesses are required to give the necessary statement to take to completion in terms of being able to prosecute someone. And that's where we're lacking in that regard. And I'm using this platform here to encourage persons to please If you have encountered or you've been approached, feel free to engage our enforcement department or directly to the Guyana Police Force. We have, however, to answer you though, we have had recent successes in terms of dealing with such persons. And also similarly, we have had the staff has to sign what is called for a code of conduct with the Central Housing and Planning Authority.
Members, Honorable Member Mr. Mahipal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, on the other goods and services purchased, sir, there are several persons who have paid for house lots, and they have their receipts and so on, but they don't have access to the land that was already under development. As we know, several areas are under development and so on. Does this sum cater for the completion of those areas so that people can begin to access their land and go ahead with construction? And when I say cater for it in the sense of providing with the necessary infrastructure, work, and so on.
Honorable Minister.
So, honorable member, then may I just use the opportunity probably to go in depth into what we'll be doing at Central Housing? So, but you'll have to ask under the right head.
Go ahead.
If that
So,
is
because
captured in another head,
the
let-
infrastructure works required to make the areas ready are capital.
Capital, exactly.
So that's,
yes.
So would the Honorable Minister be kind enough to tell us what this 4,987,168,000
Line item?
cater for?
line item.
Other goods and services purchased for central housing and planning.
Honorable Minister.
Which number is it? Honorable member refer to which line, the line number?
Other goods and services purchased. It's revised
Okay, sure.
4,987,168,000. 2025 it was 4,533,789,000. I'm looking at Appendix T, page 734.
Oh, that's what I was looking, all right, sure. So this will be more for operational purposes. This would not be for relation to land, etc. The other goods and prop services includes for security services, the equipment maintenance, cleaning and extermination services, and others in other expenses.
For the operations of central housing and
Yes,
planning
yes.
at the various offices, Mr. Chairman, across the country too.
Correct, yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
So if you go to this, so when you go to subsidy, if you look at subsidies, the 1.6 billion stated there, that is the amount that goes to Central Housing and Planning Authority for their assist with their operations.
Thank you, Minister. And in fact, that's what it says, 1.6, not 4. So we are asked to prosecute this amount, not 4 billion. Honorable Member, Mr. Duncan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I want to direct the Minister's attention to volume 2217, some of the indicators there. Minister, I noticed you projecting to do 8,000 homes after doing 578 last year. But in titling, you were only doing 7,000 titles in terms of your projection. I've noted in your previous response, you did say you're trying to clear a backlog, but it seems as though this year you're also creating a backlog. What is the reason for that?
So, Mr. Chairman, Because, first of all, because of the amount of pending applicants that we have, and because what we want to do as quickly as possible to ensure that we can provide access to housing. We don't have the luxury, as I would have heard the previous suggestions, of being able to await, first of all, to complete every aspect in preparation of land and then move on even for processing. So sometimes these things take time. We are, we do not allow persons to sign until one, that they have access to their land, and two, until we have ownership. The amount, the volume of titles that we're now processing now is it's pretty voluminous. So we don't have full control at Central Housing and Planning Authority in terms of us alone processing. It goes through the land registry. In fact, this morning, with my colleague Minister Ben, we would have had an engagement at the land registrar on looking at how putting systems in place to be able to process even at a faster rate. They have done improved, and we have a close working relationship. In fact, we have a staff who's directly related, working in relation with the land registry to be able to process titles. You will recall the titles will not only be housing alone, you'll have other agencies, um, government agencies, even from lands and survey or the Attorney General chambers. We have private persons. So I do not agree with the thinking that we're creating a backlog because, for example, over the next few days, we'll be signing a number of new of areas that we could not been able to sign. Starting, for example, Borby 75, 76. And while simultaneously we're doing infrastructure, Honorable, while we're doing infrastructure for the new areas that we will have, the houses and the new allocations, we are addressing the backlog for the titles.
Thank you, Minister.
Mr. Chair, I am assuming when you say signing, you're talking about signing the agreement of sale,
Yeah,
Minister?
so when you sign for the agreement of sale and to process the title. You do both.
Mr. Chair, the same indicators at number one. Minister, how do you define occupancy here? How does the ministry define occupancy? I notice you want to do a 10% increase for this new fiscal year.
So it's recalculate those. We have, so for example, for an area with the technology we have now with drones, etc. That you have there on occupancy is the actual proportion of the calculation of persons who are residing or who have constructed, because I won't know who's in the house, but persons who have uh, built within the area. That's what we would measure for the occupancy.
All right. I think we can put.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 45, Program 452, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Program 537. Sorry, page 537. And I propose the question that the sum stated for program 452 capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. The honorable member, Ms. Cornelius.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to ask the Honorable Minister whether the new housing scheme would have been targeted under this line item 90500 190, sorry.
So, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, so charity new housing area, as you will be familiar, we did allocate in that area. But why we have delayed showing persons for that area is because the extended portion in which the new housing scheme is developed, it's a little low Ministry through the Ministry of Agriculture, the NDIA, they have just commenced a new project that has a macro drainage of charity. Two exercises they have. One for the putting in of a pump on the river dam, and the other one is for a new drainage system to drain the new, which is in the Joseph Boxton area for charity. Our new housing development put in a new drainage channel. They have already awarded the contractor to
Project.
so physically you didn't see it because the contractor had mobilized. 2 weeks ago they would have signed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Minister, forgive me for returning to this question in a roundabout way, but I'm speaking to project code 1903-100. It is for 150 billion. It says provision of housing units, nothing specific, and allow me to also go to book 2, volume 2, and to your indicators. And you say there, number of informal settlers relocated, 133, with a target in 2026 of 500. I previously tried to raise this question, and I did mention the Ministry of Housing, because I have encountered, as recently as last Wednesday, I believe, people who were about to be relocated and did not have any temporary accommodation, and where they were about to be relocated, the infrastructure was not there. So I'm asking if the ministry has considered housing or some humane approach to this situation. And Mr. Chairman, I believe I've laid it out clearly across all 3 books on this occasion.
Honorable
Speaking
Minister.
generally, it was suffice.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chairman, allow me to do two things. One, to outline what the $150 billion entail, and two, to answer on squatting. Mr. Chairman, first of all, we must always start on the premise that squatting is illegal. And as leaders and as more so political leaders, we have a responsibility to encourage persons to do the right thing. And we must always start on that premise. And similarly, similarly, while we have an aggressive program to address squatting, that is why equally we have an aggressive program to address persons who have applied the right way, who are awaiting, and who have followed the law and order in our country. And so sometimes some of the squatting that we have, it can be addressed quickly. It will be helpful if leaders, and more so political leaders, also encourage these squatters to do the right thing. Now, the $150 million entail for, we have $150 billion have for rollover projects that we have to pay final payments for, and as well as progressive payment. For $48.2 billion for new initiatives, $1.1 billion for regularization of informal settlements, $2.275 billion for land acquisition for development for new housing schemes, $2.65 billion for the utilities, the infrastructure for the utilities, and $5.4 billion for infrastructure upgrade in existing areas. Now, in terms of squatting and what we have, so two other answers I'll give you. update you on some of what we're doing, and then also use this opportunity, because I know where you're going, to answer what the $7.5 billion that the Honorable Minister of Finance would have alluded to in his budget speech. Now, in terms of areas for regularization, this year, for example, we are expected to bring conclusion in Limasan Housing Scheme, Walton Hall, Mariah's Lodge, Paradise Gym, Plantation Best Reserves, uh, Plantation Best some former and their number of parcel lands, Port Joint Reserve, Virginujan Sea Defense, Nonpareil, or what you know as Collagen, the Endrak Railway Line in Region 3, the Monrepo Railway Line, there's a portion of 32 persons there, Plantation Vigilance, Bladen Hall, Strathspey, Plantation Betterfuactin on the railway line, Block K and J Fowles, Ichuni, Plantation Ichuni, that is, Komaka in Region 10, Siberian, New Harden, Silver Hill, Amelia's Ward, Block 43, about 250 persons we've recognized there. So we are intended to address all these areas this year. And then, so those are what we call areas for regularization. And if you look towards relocation now, which we call zero tolerance areas, the best sea defense, there's a section on the plastic, what you call Plastic City, the best railway line, Greenwich Park Sea Defense, Anna Katrina Sea Defense, Zealot Sea Defense, Zealot North Drainage Reserve, Zealot Burial Ground, yes, the burial ground, CI Sea Defense, Ruby Bag Dam, the Drainage Reserve, Tushen Sea Defense, Parika Sea Dam, that's an ongoing because we also have some persons to actually move immediately. They're hampering the progress on the development for the new Parika Stelling. The Grumville Sea Defense, Plantation Virginusian, Good Hope Drainage Reserve, Wallace Delight, the Drainage Reserve. We have all those areas that I just identified. We have identified that those persons have to relocate. Those were what we call zero tolerance. And then we have, as part of the infrastructure development that we have planned for this year, a portion in charity. So this is where your 1.150 billion is going towards. Plantation Best Reserves, Plantation Best, the former 168, 168, 609, and 610. Vigilance South, Nonpareil Collagen, Block E and J Fowles, Section D Torkine, Plantation Torkine, Section D, the other one is parcel 2689. Plantation Belvedere Reserve, Canvas City Block E and F, Amelia's Ward Block 43, where we're doing the ownership currently. So these are a minimum I'm giving you. I'm not even giving you the maximum. Now, so that's generally on squatting. Now, in terms of where the other support can be found, I want to give some elaboration on the $7.5 billion that is made available. That was announced by the Honorable Minister, where he said that this amount will focus heavily on construction of new homes. That will be through the direct assistance for persons to build, as well targeting vulnerable families, construction of some core homes, as well as incentives to encourage affordable home construction. Now, on that $7.5 billion, Mr. Chairman, that amount, and let me just allow me to go a little in detail. We have a new initiative that we're starting. So we have First of all, the subsidy program for foundation. That's the one you know currently. Everybody call it the steel and cement. So that initiative will continue. You have an initiative that we call home improvement. So these are targeting persons who are occupiers of houses, and they've come reached out. They've said, yes, you're targeting new housing development. What about me, who may not be able to afford to be able to do a little repairs? We're also targeting for persons who, as little assistance for the construction, and that is for continuation of the construction, some core homes, and not excluded will be hinterland housing program, $2.5 billion of that 7.5.
Mr. Chair, Minister, you did mention in terms of relocation, Purika Sidam. Is there a hierarchy in that list that you have there? I know the Minister of Public Works, who has left us for a little bit, he has an aggressive program he outlined earlier for the wharf selling, whatever they're doing there. How aggressive is that relocation for Sidam
It
residents?
has started already, honorable member. In fact, some of those persons have already uh, already are been able to identify their land. So we've prioritized, first of all, the section in which where the stelling has to be constructed, because that's a massive program there. That's not just a basic stelling. And then we're moving outwards to the others on the sea dam. At the same time, as I said earlier, we must be mindful that we have persons who are waiting as part of the 9,000 plus in region 3. I'm using Purika as an example, that are awaiting allocations and for which we have to clear their arrears. So at the same time, we are acquiring new lands, for example, further expansion in Wales and some other areas on the West Coast to be able to provide access.
Follow up.
But high priority immediately is those within the that will be may hamper construction.
Follow up on that.
Take some from
Thank you, Mr.
education.
Chair. Honorable Minister,
Yes.
can you please tell the House what are the requirements for the construction subsidy? Or
So-
I'm sorry, the criteria?
So, Mr. Chairman, what I omitted to mention, while we have announced this, the modalities, the criteria, the parameter, because that's taking consideration employment, etc., those will be announced in due time. But we have put in the provisions here to, as part of this year budget to be implemented. The one that we're clear on would be the foundation, the one for the foundation, so the steel and cement subsidy program, as you know, because that is clear cut. And then obviously the core houses.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Minister.
Honorable Member, Mr. Andrews.
Mr. Speaker, I think, sure.
I'm giving you the floor. If you don't want it, I'll go on to the Honorable Sharma Solomon. Honorable Maipol.
This is,
Honorable Member, Mr. Duncan.
this,
Mr. Chair, on the same line item we're following, the same program rather, I wanted to ask the Minister, in terms of some of what's happening in Bartica, for instance, we saw the 5 mile, I think, extension. Some of the homes were built there. There's a lot of defects that were reported, and the project there seems to be at a standstill. I wanted to know if finishing that project is within this line item this year.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Chairman, no, that's not correct. There is no standstill in the construction of the houses at Bartica. What you may have had would have been termination of a contractor, but not at a standstill. And in fact, we have available house unallocated as yet for how persons in particular who are pending applicants that are interested in the houses.
A
Thank you
follow-up,
very much,
Mr. Chair.
Honorable Minister, Honorable Member, Ms. Dawn Hastings
You want to
Williams.
move back to
Mr.
Barton?
Chair,
Honorable Member, Ms. Dawn Hastings Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just want to take back the minister to the hinterland housing program, which you just mentioned, where you've allocated 2.5 billion. Would you be kind enough to tell us which hinterland areas you will spend this money
So-
on? Thank you.
Mr. Chair, even similarly for the, like what we've added for the coastland, we're also for the hinterland. So I won't be able to identify the areas now because I'm
Okay.
explaining the parameters on which it to be done. So similarly for the hinterland, we're also going to be adding the aspect of support, like somehow, like what they have, for example, where some of them are utilizing the LCDS for home improvement program, that is in terms of materials. So because a lot of it is not necessarily persons have their own home, but they want to do a little improvement. So the hinterland housing program will have two aspects: construction of houses as well as a home improvement aspect. And similarly, because you have to have some determining factors of how you will determine who
Yeah.
can be prioritized to be helped, because everybody will want to help. So that will be similarly like the coastland. We will announce that program in due time.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. The Honorable Member, Mr. Duncan.
Mr. Speaker, under the same program, just wanted to know if what is the allocation here? Because it's a broad heading for instance, um, the extension. If there's an allocation in here for the Heroes Highway recapping, the I think you were doing some work on the roundabout there at Eccles too.
Minister,
So, Mr. Chair, the question being asked was under what I announced just now about new projects. So, what do we have? We have the recapping, as you quite rightly alluded to, the asphalt overlay. So from Schooner to Crane, that will be 7.1 kilometers, and Heroes Highway, 11.7 kilometers. We're starting, so a total of 18.8 kilometers. We have budgeted so far $2 billion to that. On this same project or same line item, we have the commencement of the construction of the highway, that is from Schooner to Porica. We're talking about 20.8 kilometers. And then we also have a new access road to be constructed, starting first of all from Lenora to Vorsails, about 7.7 kilometers.
thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Andrews.
thank you very much, Mr. Chair. On the same line item, Minister, you did not, by any chance, is the Heroes Highway Phase 5 from Landacanon to Sue's Dyke, is that included? If it is, what is the total cost of that project and the kilometers?
Honorable
No,
Minister.
no honorable member. No, it's
Thank
not
you, sir.
included.
Thank you.
Honorable Member, Mr. Sharon.
What you
Sala.
have though is the completion of the Bosby Dam Creek to school to Landacanon.
Follow up, Mr. Speaker.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, so we don't foresee that project coming on board in
Yes.
2026?
The identification of the funding is going through another means. So yes, there will be a continuation from Landacanon going to Soesdijk. In fact, the alignment has already been determined.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to the minister, in the 1.1 billion for relocation and regularization, you said block 43, I'm assuming that's Prossville. how many homes would that be? And the Prossville community is connected to Andyville and Rassville. Are those two communities up along with Prossville for regularization? One. And the relocation of persons at the Kukwani waterfront. Is it that these persons are part of that relocation, and where are they going to be relocated to if that new scheme that's being provided for, and if they're going to be paying for that? Thank you very much.
Honorable Minister.
So the last question first, let me answer, honorable member. The Kukwani waterfront, first of all, the relocation was a commitment that was made by the president and then followed up by the honorable minister of natural resources. I went myself. We engaged all those persons, and that's how we had the development of the new Kokwani housing development. The dilemma you have, which Honorable Bishop will allude to, is that you have some persons who are continuing to expand even their home on the waterfront and seem quite comfortable where they are. The option of relocating is still available. Some persons in our engagement and our initial outreach did respond and were allocated in the new area. It's still available to others. In terms of the regularization, the 1.1 billion dollars, with Region 10, we are working in close collaboration with two agencies, both NISIL, which you know a lot of the lands are under, as well as Guyana Lands and Survey Commission. Sometimes where it's easier because to deal with the access and the initial work done, um, we allow those agencies and then we might come in and support with infrastructure. So for example, areas being some of the areas that are regularized on the lands of survey, they don't really cater for infrastructure work. It'll have to come through central government or region. So yes, those areas that you have identified is intended to be part of the radar.
Thank you very
We
much.
have, in fact, I'll go this broadly and say, honorable member, there are a number of pockets of areas in Region 10 that we have on the radar that we intend to address in a major way.
And you were saying before this year is out, in that one
Well, the
point.
one I identified, I'm committing, the one I listed, we're committed that that's this year. Well,
Okay,
our intention, government's intention, is that there must be no one living in any area for which you do not have the opportunity for ownership. No, there's no opportunity because you have to still sign up. And or secondly, that we must not have a squatting existing after this period.
just a quick follow-up. The only reason I ask, because the Prossville area makes up of that block 43, three other settlements, which includes Andyville and Prossville, Rassville included in that. So I just wanted to know if those two communities within the same block were part of the consideration for regularization.
Once it can, it will be. Honorable.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Duncan.
The same program. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Minister, Silica City, in this sum we hope to appropriate, what is the figure for Silica City continuing development there? And when do we intend to complete the development of Silica City? And Minister, I've noted that Silica City is ahead of some housing schemes that have started before. Could you say if there's anybody who has actually moved into any one of the houses there?
So Silica City, honorable member, Silica City has different phases and different focus. So what we're implementing there is part of a master plan that has already been determined. So when we allude to phase one will be for construction or the construction of, at the first phase, 110 young professional houses. There are available lots in the very phase one, for which currently they are going through with a procurement for the contractors to complete those, to build on the existing lots under phase one. In terms of the 110 houses, we have approximately 50 of those that are complete. Persons who have been allocated have already signed who have been allocated because they can sign for that portion. We have ownership, and they have moving on to the next process. In terms of if anybody is physically living there as yet, you will have a few who is into that transition. Then, that's all. Then you have the phase two, for which the infrastructure work has already started. And that area will encompass townhouses type of construction, etc. With that also, to come on stream on Silica City, you would have seen us, we went out for expression of interest for retirement home and the health hub. So at this phase, the expression of interest already open, and they're going through that evaluation. That is led by the head of the CHPA. And so the retirement home and the healthcare hub are two sections that will come on stream during this year, based on the evaluation of the expression of interest.
Thank you, Minister.
Mr. Chair, the question of the appropriation here for Silica City.
So under, let me give you exact then. So under the phase one, for where the houses are, we do not have to expend, for phase one type infrastructure, that is, right? We do not have to invest any further. What we have catered here for is for the sewage network and utility lines for wastewater management, etc., within the very areas of that we've built the houses and where we go into phase two. So that is what we've catered for on this year budget. $600 million there. You would not see resources, for example, the retirement home, etc., because those will be done by the developer.
Thank you, Minister.
Mr. Chair?
MP Sharma,
Yes, just quickly
because
on,
this will be the last question.
just quickly on the Kokwani housing scheme that you mentioned that the waterfront residents were encouraged to move to. Just quickly on the expected completion of that scheme and in terms of the budgetary allocation, is there anything in the budget for that scheme this year?
Honorable Minister.
Go further to tell you, we plan to also construct houses there. That will be part of the 8,000. In terms of the housing development,
Timelines.
yeah, sure. So one of the contractor, so there are two lots. One of the contractors already complete, and so persons can, in due time, will be able to start seeing their lot. The other one is nearing completion.
Thank you.
We're always within this year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, honorable members. Honorable members, we started at 6:22. We had 45 minutes for this
Can you
head
give me
and
some
7
education
minutes
time?
of saving. Minister, you wanted to
No,
say?
I was saying you can give me some of education time.
Unfortunately, the Honorable Chief Whip of the government says I can't bring up time. I can carry over, but I can't bring up. So we are at 7:15 now, according to my clock. 1 minute over. I put the question
So, okay.
that the sum stated for program 45, 4452, agency 45, capital expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated stands part of the estimates. Thank you so much.
Mr. Chairman, if you just allow me to acknowledge and thank the hardworking staff of Central Housing and Planning Authority. I always say, oftentimes, what you see on social media, on the comments, would be somebody who's waiting for a lot or some negativity, but it does not take away from the fact of the work that they often do beyond the call of duty.
Thank you very much, Minister, and let me also express the appreciation to you and your team, and especially your explanations regarding the policy for which all of these monies have been allocated. It's much clearer to me at least. Thank you so much. Thank you very. And the excellent questioning led by the Honorable Member, Ms. Beverly Cornelius. Thank you very much. And we'll now invite the Honorable Minister of Education and her team. No, honestly, we don't do enough of that kind of thing. As the minister's team is getting in place, honorable members, let us turn to pages 218 and 219. Honorable members, I now propose a question that the sum stated for Agency 40, Program 401, Policy Development and Administration Current Expenditure, stands part of the estimates. The Honorable Member, Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Honorable Minister, I don't want the question to come across as being adversarial. I have a serious concern with education in Guyana, and it is not partisan. Um, I am raising it on the line item 6113, and it's because I'm not certain where the personnel might be. I'm thinking that's where it might be. The One of the things that has afflicted us for decades is a high, particularly secondary school dropout. If I turn to your performance statements, one of the strategies is to collect and analyze data in the education sector to inform policies and programs. I believe that it's very important for us to have up-to-date data on secondary school dropouts. And second, to have a strategy in place to reduce this in the national interest. Um, can I, can you say whether you've made provision on the 6113 or maybe one of the other lines to achieve this outcome?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable member, thank you for the question, but I think 6113, while you're looking at the policy, our 6113 in this line item is actually dealing with the sum that is allocated here, and it goes towards a decrease that is due to the resignation of one assistant accountant, whose salary would have been 122,693. So that's in relation to the particular line item. I think what you're asking is outside of the line item.
Mr. Chair, should I, this, this comes from Program 1 is Policy Development and Administration. I believe the question that I'm putting forward falls squarely on the Program Development and Administration. Mr. Chair, I don't want to have to repeat the question across each one of the line items just to get to what I want to get to. I think in the interest of,
Well,
I'm raising this as a policy, and I'm also trying to tie it to a line item. And the chair had indicated that he would permit some policy questions. And it's an important thing. It is not a partisan issue. It is an important national issue. I'm not raising this as a partisan issue.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, while we're looking, this line item specifically speaks to other technical and craft skill. What you're asking about is data collection, separate and apart from this line item. But to answer you in relation to the data collection, what we have done, the People's Progressive Party civic government in the last 5 years, is ensure that we place initiatives that would see the attendance of students, whether that's the cash grant, whether that was ensuring that teachers have the items in school to teach by giving them the grant, whether ensuring that there is a hot meal program, a breakfast program, so that you will have attendance, because we believe that this will raise attendance to students. In addition to that, you have guidance and counselors in every particular school, every school, that can be able to deal with social issues should that be the cause of dropout. So those are initiatives that were brought on.
Mr. Chairman, a follow-up, please. I think I've said this before during this consideration of the estimates, that what you measure, you improve. Is the ministry actively measuring high school dropout rate?
Thank you, Honorable Member. We are actively measuring that. And in addition to that, we're looking at also retraining guidance and counselors more in line with psychologists or a psychology training. That will be an upgraded training. So there are initiatives that are in place. Of course, access to school is a big deal. And in the last 5 years, there have been so many secondary schools that with the completion of the secondary schools that we have not completed, you will have universal access to secondary school. So access is a big deal. And we know that we live in a very geographically challenged country in terms of the hinterland and the rural areas. So access is a big deal, and that can also be a reason for trouble.
One last follow-up, Mr. Chair. Thank you for that answer. Can you say whether the data, which I think is important, will ever be shared publicly? I haven't been able to see data.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, Honorable Member, but it is in the budget, it is in the estimates, and it is there every year. I know that there was a question, I think, on one of the order papers, and it is actually there.
The only thing I saw, Honorable Minister, was matriculation rate. I don't think I saw a secondary school dropout.
Honorable Member, it is, Mr. Speaker, through you. Honorable Member, it is what you refer to as survival rate to the last grade of secondary, which is volume 2, 200. So if you look at that, you will get, if you look at that on the estimates, you will get it.
Honorable Member, Dr. Barker.
Mr. Chairman, with reference to line item 6301, education subventions and grants, I have noted that in the revise for 2025 is 277,652,000, and the allocation that is now being sought is 930,864,000. Can the minister state what new subventions and training have contributed to this drastic rise?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, honorable member. So 6301 is specifically subvention and grants. 6302 deals with training. So I will deal with what the 653 is for. That is for CXC subsidies, 853.3 million. Breakdown of CAPE, 665,666. That 65,000 equals 43.3 million. Plus you have the CSEC of 13,000. 35 students will be 51 at 51,900, which will equal to 676 million, plus 15% increase in the fees from 55,000. Yeah.
Thank you, Minister.
And that's the update.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. With reference to 6116, contracted employees, can the Honorable Minister state for the Assembly who are the 24 new contracted employees?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much, honorable member. We have one information and communication technician specialist, one coordinator, 5 engineers, 1 program manager, 5 system development officers, 3 technical assistants, 4 clerks, 2 data processing clerk, 1 expediter, and 1 porter.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Barker.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Could you state for the Assembly more specifically the contracted employees who were hired just after the elections on the 1st of September? Their names, please.
No, we don't, we, honorable member, through the speaker, we don't give.
Just their designation then, Minister. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Honorable member, we have the coordinator and a porter.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Chair, may I continue?
Yes, you may.
I'm looking at line item 6284, order. Can the Honorable Minister state a few listed expenditure for this category?
A few.
Yes, the major ones.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I'd be very happy to. I think the honorable member might be very happy to hear this, that the increase adequately caters for payment of stipend to English as a second language for teachers, which will increase from 96 teachers in 2025 to 160 teachers in 2026. The increase also caters for consultancy for drafting of the education sector plan.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. A follow-up. Mr. Chair, could I direct the Honorable Minister's attention to volume 2 on page 192 on the indicators 14, percentage of migrant students enrolled in school participating in ESL classes. Can the Honorable Minister state for us the number of schools that are taking or carrying rather English as a second language class?
Primary schools, and it's done in the afternoon specifically.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Honorable Member, Mr. Duncan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, on the same program, I'd love to direct the minister's attention to page 192 under the indicators there and at number.
That's where she is.
Huh?
That's where she is.
At number 3. Percentage of schools in good and new condition. Minister, what is the outstanding work on the Hosororo Secondary School in Region 1?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, but that doesn't fall under this program.
Thank you, Minister.
Mr. Speaker. Oh.
Mr. Chair, isn't this a new school? Good and new conditions with percentage.
That school specifically falls under another program, and Minister prepared to answer it then. Honorable Member, Mr. Andrews.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, on wages, total wages and salaries across 6111 to 6117, I've noticed that the number of staff overall across those line items have increased by 5, but the total amount has increased by 185 million for an addition of 5 staff. But what specifically jumped out to me in this regard is that 6111, there is a reduction in staff, but it is increased by almost $9 million. Then the other example is 6112, which reduced by 1 staff, but the count went up by almost $88 million. So we reduced by 1 staff, but the allocation went up by 88 million. In the instance of 6111, there was a reduction of 1 staff from 30 to 29. That went up by 9 million. Overall, across 6111 to 6117, there's an increase of 5 staff, but an increased allocation of $185 million. On average, that is over, well, we could do the numbers, but can the, thank you, 185, let us do the math, 185 divided by 5, that's $37 million per staff on average. Can the Honorable Minister just explain to the House what accounts for this drastic increase in allocation across those line items?
Yeah. So, Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Honorable Member, let's start with 6111.
Yes.
So you have the registry supervisor that retired, but the increase caters for 8% increase for 29 staff, a salary range of which is $163,000, 268 to 616,952. So when I'm finished with this, then you'll do back the math.
That
Right?
only takes us
So
to
let's
98
go.
million.
No, I'm not finished. I'm not
Okay.
finished. You're
Sorry,
going
my
from
bad.
6111.
It's okay.
So allow me
Thank
to
you.
go. All right.
Honorable
Six-
Minister, I am allowing you. I was
Thank
about
you,
to
Mr.
caution him
Sorry.
that when he asked the question, he has to give the speaker or the chairman an opportunity to you to speak. And then he can interject once I give him the floor again. So the cross talking, I'll stop. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So 6112, you have a monitoring and evaluation officer that has retired at 224,000. The sum received from 6141, which you know is the shortfall and the line item that carries the shortfall, in 2025 was 700,000. This amount catered for the 8% salary increase for 55 staff, as well as movements within the line. So you had an assistant chief education officer moving to a deputy chief education officer. There was one promotion of a school welfare officer to a senior education officer, a planning officer, and an EPMA moving to 6116 contracted workers, and the employment of 2 senior education officers, and it goes down like that. So in between that you're not seeing there, it's there. 55 staff, 29 staff.
Thank you
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Chair. Honorable Minister, I draw your attention back to the indicators on page 192. 14, we're looking at the migrant students. I have noted that you have 60% for 2025, and you expect to have 75%. Can you state for the Assembly how many migrant students consist of this 60%?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Honorable member, we're looking to target about 3,500 students.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very quickly, I have just 2 questions. Thank you. Under 6116, there are 224 employees for 2026 contracted. May I ask the Honorable Minister how many education officers are at the Ministry of Education there under this program on contract?
Honorable Minister.
Bear with me, Mr. Chair. I'll get the answer shortly. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much, Honorable Member. We have 4 senior education officers and 3 education officers.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. My follow-up question to that, sir, in order to become an education officer, what qualification you must possess to get that status?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much, Honorable Member. You must have a degree in education and you must have training that is continuous in education.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for Agency 40, Program 401, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Please turn to page 533, honorable members. Honorable members, I now propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 40, Program 401, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Mr. Barker, Dr. Barker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chairman, with reference to Project 121-500, administrative buildings, can the minister indicate which specific administrative facilities are to be constructed, rehabilitated, or expanded? Zero?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I believe that line item has nothing in it.
Yes. I withdraw. Thank
Honorable
you.
Member, Ms. Nima Flu-Bess.
Thank you, Committee Chair. Project code 2607100, furniture and equipment, provision for furniture and equipment. Can the Honorable Minister say which building or section will be using this furniture and equipment.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Honorable member, if you wish, I can list them for you. So we will have 2 office chairs for the office of the minister, 1 sofa for the office of the minister, 2 desks, office of the minister, 3 office chairs. I meet the public a lot. 3 office chairs, office of the PS, 2 desktop printers, office of the PS, 1 tablet, office of the PS, 1 executive desk and chair for the advisor on tertiary education, 2 tablets, office of the CEO, 1 executive chair, deputy PS, office, 1 laptop, policy implementation and monitoring unit, 1 AC unit, hinterland education and development, 1 printer, hinterland education and development, 2 executive chairs for the planning unit, 1 executive chair, statistical services and monitoring, 2 visitors chairs, statistical services and monitoring, 1 3D printer, MISU, 2 desktop computers, EPMU, 6 desks, inspectorate unit, 1 executive desk, general administration, 2 semi-executive chairs, general admin, 1 laptop, transport department, 1 printer and scanner, central registry, 1 photocopier, civil works admin, 2 office desks, procurement department, 3 desktop computers, HR department, 1 AC unit, central accounting unit, 2 desks for the field audit, 1 AC unit for UNESCO, 2 executive chairs for the national accreditation, 5 office desks, BDU, 5 metal trolleys, BDU, 4 typist chairs, examination division, logistics and field operations, 1 photocopier, examination division, instrument development unit, 2 chairs, school support unit, 1 water dispenser, school support unit, printer, school support unit. The school support unit. You want me to read it over? 1 water dispenser, school support unit, 1 printer, school support.
Honorable Minister, I think we have a fair idea of the efficient manner in which this money is being allocated.
Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for Agency 40, Program 401 Capital, now stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, let us turn to pages 220 and 221. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 40, 402, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, we're at volume 2. Training, which is on page 194. Mr. Chair, can the minister please state, it actually says that the ministry projects that only 5% of teachers in 2026. Does it mean that 95% of teachers across the system are considered fully trained?
Thank you very much. Yes, 95% have either graduated or training, and we have about just 5%.
Thank you.
Follow up, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, can the minister please indicate, and if it is that we're agreeing that 95% of teachers are fully trained, how do we explain the stagnation in CXE matriculation between 2021 and 2025, despite improvements in teacher qualification levels and teacher-student ratios?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let's go to
Go ahead, Honorable
Thank you.
Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Member. So from 2020, we trained 509 teachers. 2021, 845. I'll answer your specific question shortly. 2022, 46. 2023, 1,837. 2024, 1,501. 2025, 1,345. These are trained in all different disciplines. However, Mr. Speaker, if you were to look at the matriculation rate, and especially last year with the math intervention program, which is an excellent program that has been expanded in 2026, at the end of 2025, going into 2026, from 59 schools to 82 schools, and especially in the hinterland, we have moved in 2025 by 5%, of a 5% increase in the grade. And what that means is that when you look at 5%, it may not look like a lot, but as a matter of fact, 500 students were able to pass mathematics in 2025 because of those interventions. 500 more, 500 more, let me put that. And we're looking to have that percentage as well as number increase in 2026. It's not it can be a stagnation, please, Mr. Speaker. We moved in 2026, so it's not a stagnation. 2025.
Thank you, Minister. Just for our questionnaires, if we start inflicting those kinds of adjectives, it will prompt longer answers, I'm confident, because all of the data could be interpreted in so many different ways. And once you ask the question and you put a remark on it, it will be appropriate for the minister to answer appropriately. Honorable Member, Ms. Nima Flubes.
Thank you, Comma Chair. Same volume 2. Indicator number 3, percentage of teachers trained in SEN, special education needs. 35% I see for last year, and 5% for this year. Can the Honorable Minister say?
Honorable Member, just let's go back to because I'm seeing NA against number 3. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Oh, yes. You get it. All right.
So am I wrong or you?
No, you're correct. So,
okay, sorry.
Can the Honorable Minister say what level of training were given to the 35% of teachers who were trained in the SEN group?
Honorable Minister.
So thank you very much. To let you know, just before I get to this specific training that you're speaking of, there is a general training for special education needs at the Siripota College of Education that every teacher is going through. And so they can move on to specialize fully from that. But they will also gain the knowledge from that particular course. But this 35% that you're looking here is a specific training that is also on the Guyana Online Academy of Learning. And so they are taking that training from that platform as well.
Okay, thank you. Number 7. Number of SEN centers delivering special needs education. Can the Honorable Minister say what are the 6 new schools or institutions identified? I see in the indicator here, target for 2026. Have you identified to do this programming?
Honorable Minister.
So we had just recently, we had the 49th census space be completed in the country, moving from a mere number of 13 to 49 in the last 5 years. And YAS is a center that, I don't know if you are aware, but it was recently, the doors were recently opened, and it's a collaboration with the Qatar, with the Qataris, as well as the Guyana government. And that is one. We also have the deaf school that is going to be opened very shortly. We have one at Tushan, we're going to have one at Frieslos, and we're going to have one at Turkine. But you also have a space at CPC, and number 29 Village in Region 5 will also have a sense space. Mabaruma as well.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for program 402, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it, the sum stated now stands part of the estimates. If we can turn to page 533. And I propose the question that the sum stated for program 402, capital expenditure, stands part of the estimates. I now put the question that the sum stated for agency 40, program 402, capital, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it, the sum stated now stands part of the estimates. We can go to pages 222 and 223. And I propose the question that the sum stated for agency 40, program 403, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. The honorable member, Ms. Dr. Barker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With reference to project 121, oh, Mr. Chair, we're at, just for clarity, we're at program 403, nursery education.
Go ahead.
Yes. So with reference to 6301, education, subvention, and grants, can the Honorable Minister state a reason for the increase of that amount from 3,185,000, 3,185,000 to 4,622,000,000, right? So from 3,185,000,000 to 4,622,000,000.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you, honorable member. So this increase caters for the increase in the very successful Because We Care cash grant from 50,000 to 60,000, as well as the introduction of a transportation grant of $20,000 annually to every child registered in the school system, private and public. And this is how it goes. The distribution of the uniform grant of 41,801 public students, 5,000 per child. And in addition to the private schools, 209,005 students, plus 6,500 students with the private schools. That would be making it, the total would be $241,515,000. You have the distribution of the, again, Because We Care cash grant, and then you have the distribution of the transportation grant. So this is all, and of course the school grants for public nursery schools in all regions, plus admin cost.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this school grant, same line, and I think this question will cut across nursery, primary, and secondary. The Honorable Minister indicated that schools will be introducing the biometric system, in terms of recording their attendance, the teachers recording their attendance to ensure that they are on time and that they provide for our pupils and students across all nursery, primary, and secondary. I think it's a good system, Mr. Chairman, in the sense that it will remove the paperwork of signing in and signing out. My only concern to the Honorable Minister, if she can address it, is the school will have to purchase the equipment from this school grant. And if so, would that not be depriving the school of purchasing their usual academic materials to enhance the teaching of our students?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Honorable Member. So the launch of the biometrics is to ensure that the public understands that there will be a system in school that is upgraded from a manual to a digital or a digitized system. Now, biometrics already exist in some of the schools, and these were purchased by the schools after consultation without any fuss. However, there is no force, or there is no pressure on teachers to purchase the biometrics from their grants. Now, what they do usually is that they buy items, but sometimes you also find that they will also put it to buy appliances, etc., for their schools. And so they can take that same grant, because if you're buying an appliance this year, it doesn't necessarily mean you need one in 2026. Sorry, in 2025, you don't need it in 2026. And so you can put the money towards that. In the event that they can't do that, or they don't want to do that, we will supplement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, a follow-up.
Go ahead.
Is there a standardized biometric system that is applicable to use so that it will last a long time, as opposed to the software, as opposed to, buying one school having an expensive one that will last long, another school, because of small amount of money, may buy a cheaper one if it exists, and then it can break easily? Is there a standardized recommendation that the ministry is putting to the school that they should seek to purchase?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So thank you. So the ministry put the specs to the school, and then they can, from those specs, purchase the system. But it is a system that has to be compatible with the EMIS system as well. So it is purchased, or it is an understanding that when you're purchasing that, it must be compatible with EMIS system, which necessarily would have its own specs that you will have to have for the
Thank you.
biometric.
Just two more follow-ups, sir. The first one is, if a school exhausts their funds under the school grant for academic materials, will the ministry, to ensure the success of the program, will the ministry be purchasing it for the school so that it will ensure that all schools do have it, at least in this year?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, thank you. So I think I said that just now.
Oh,
I said we will if they're not forced to, and so if they don't want to, or they do buy it, that's okay. If they decide to buy it, that's fine. And if they can't, then we will supplement.
Another question, Mr. Chair, last follow-up, please. So the biometric system has the clock-in, clock-out system. If teachers, for example, and other staff end up being in school for longer hours than their mandated hours, will that be considered as time for them to get overtime pay for duties that they're executing in their respective schools, once verified by the headmaster or the administrative head of the school? Because we don't want a situation where teachers may be looking, hearing this, and then they will want to clock out every day at 5 o'clock.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So what obtains now remains with the system in place. What obtains with you manually signing in that you're clocking in at this time and signing out that you're clocking out at that time, that still obtains, because school is supposed to start at XYZ time. And yes, it finishes for the student at a particular time, but teachers know that they have other things that they're doing as well. So timetabling starts from when school starts and when school calls in. So we expect that what obtains now is will be the situation still.
And finally, sir, for guidance, I know when there is the academic break period, the Christmas storm break, the August storm break, and the Easter term break, teachers are not necessarily breaking from their academic duties. And you will find that teachers go into school too. In fact, I think the system does cater for teachers to make themselves available to attend school. Would they be required to utilize the clock in, clock out time during that period also?
So this obtains, again, for any situation, what exists now is going to also exist when the system is in place. Except the fact that, look, we're looking at, as you said, we're looking at accountability. You think it's a good system, that's great. I also think so. And we can't, as a nation, speak about wanting matriculation rates to be better, wanting our students to be better. We can't, as a government, also invest heavily as we have done in the last 5 years and will continue to do in the next 5 years, heavily in the education sector, and then you're not seeing the results. We can't invest heavily in the training of teachers, and then you're having time periods in which students are not being taught. So we want to be able to make sure that's happening. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not a punishment measure for teachers. It is not a punitive measure. It is to ensure that we have that accountability. It is to ensure that we have better results and children are taught. And it is to ensure that we are transforming digitally as well. So it's several things in one, and we have to appreciate, because every time something pops up on social media of maybe a crop of students not doing well enough or a batch of students not doing well enough, you go back to the education sector and you say, well, we've been plugging this, why is this not happening? So it is to ensure that we have that kind of result.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Member, Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Honorable Minister, quick one. Line item 6271, the amount moved is telephone and internet charges more than doubled from 50 million to 123 million, thereabouts. Can I get an explanation for that, please?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Member. So, million, it's caters for 50 new connections in the hinterland region. And if you wish, I can call them out for you. But I think the public should know. So Philippine Nursery School, Region 7, Rupanao Nursery School, Region 9, Quatamang Nursery School, Region 9, Pumacalan's Nursery School, Region 10, Parico Waranao Nursery. All right, I know that one is a little, but I can spell that one. Parikwaranau Nursery School, Region 9, Daklo Nursery School, Region 2, Marlborough Nursery School, Region 2, Supanam Creek Nursery School, Goshen River, Yarracabra Nursery, Moritaro, Malali, Aichuni, Kokwani Park, Kokwani Waterfront, Toka Nursery, Aranaputa, Waweta, Mokomoko, Haiwa, Napi, Parashara, Kwatata, Yupakari, Kwaikombe, Katoka, Masara, Anai, Ruperti, St. Cuthbert, Kumu, Quarry, Riwa, Apoteri, Fairview, Crashwater, Canal Bank, Yarakita, Hotakwai, Hururu, Itringbang, Madia, Campbelltown, Paramakatoy, Tapakuma, Kurukubaru, Keto, Sansushi, Belle Plaine, Mariah's Pleasure.
Mr. Chairman, with reference to the same line item, 6271, telephone and internet changes, can the Honorable Minister indicate if all of the schools have received internet access? These are the nursery schools because it's program 403.
So thank you very much. So this is actually catering for the new connections. So they will now have that.
Thank you.
That's for NDMA internet charges, right?
That the sum stated
Sir?
for Program 403 of Agency 40 current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Page 534. Honorable members. And I propose a question that the sum stated for Program 403 Nursery Education Capital Expenditure stands part of the estimates. The Honorable Member Nima Flubes.
Thank you, Comma Chair. Project code 1215300. Can the Honorable Minister say how much of this allocation will be paid for retention?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So we have retention payment for five projects.
Phone too loud for me. Honorable
Follow
Minister,
up.
please, you can.
I
you can
apologize, Mr. Speaker. It's actually six.
You're
Honorable.
apologizing for Kwame?
No, no,
Okay.
no, no. I, Mr. Speaker, I apologize. It's not five, it's six.
Honorable Member Nima Flubes.
A follow-up. I'd ask how much of the allocated sum will be used to pay for the retention?
Retention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So we have the rollover being 43,691, and from in that sum for all the retention,
Thank you, Minister.
all the projects stated earlier.
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 403 Nursery Capital Expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Pages 2, 24, and 25. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 40, Program 404, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Ms. Nima Flubes.
Thank you, Comma Chair. Line item 6284 other. Can the Honorable Minister disaggregate the sums, the sums of this month?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Honorable Member, the increase catered for the exams division to cover the increased costs associated with the production and administration of the NGSA by CXC, and an additional sum caters for administrative costs to administer NGSA pre-test to more schools in the hinterland. You also have the line item catering for other goods and services to be purchased by the Office of the ACU for primary, the Department of Education, and the 3 units within the National School Feeding Program.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Vest.
Thank you, Comma Chair. Volume 2. Indicator number 28. Total number of schools at the primary level. I note in 2025 we had 471, and now in 2026, 479. What are the 8 new schools added to this list?
Minister.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. We have the construction of Tushen Primary, construction of Wizrock Primary, the construction of Horadaya Primary. We have the construction of District 10 Primary, construction of Diamond, St. Cuthbert Primary, Dorsey, Buxton Sideline Primary.
Follow-up question, Mr. Speaker. Comma Chair.
Go ahead, Honorable Member.
Based on the response given by the Honorable Minister, can the Honorable Minister say if these schools will be completed for 2026?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. We do have some of them completing in 2026, the majority being completed in 2026.
Honorable Member Dr. Barker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Honorable Minister, we're looking at Program 404, Primary Education, under the same indicators. Indicator number 22, student to trained teacher ratio. I have noted that the target is 20 to 1. Can the Honorable Minister say how many schools have implemented this target?
Minister.
Right. So, Mr. Chair, Honorable Member, thank you for that question. As a matter of fact, it is actually data that we're collecting right now for each of those schools that has a 20 to 1 ratio.
Thank you, Minister. A follow-up question, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Minister, can you say what measures are in place in the 2026 budget to ensure that this ratio is actualized?
Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. As I spoke earlier on the training of teachers, more training of teachers, and from 2020 to 2025, the end of 2025, we have more than 8,000 teachers having been trained in the system and hired, employed.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put a question.
Mr. Chair.
Honorable Member Professor Hines. Let me recognize Professor Paloma.
My mic, it's on. Okay. Yes, Madam Minister, this is a quick question and it may apply across programs. I notice that there are a number of contracted workers. What formula is used to arrive at the salaries for these contracted workers?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. And I think some time ago, or maybe a few years ago, I would have answered this particular question too. And having been the former Minister of Public Service, the public service rules actually speak to contracted employees. So you also gauge it on a scale that is very similar to the pensionable establishment.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for agency.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Honorable Chief Whip.
Thank you.
For the opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We're still at the indicators, 22 student to trained teachers ratio. Can the Honorable Minister please state how many teachers are currently in the primary education system?
Honorable Minister.
Right. So thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So what we have, as you know, we have primary schools and we have primary top, but in the primary, we have 5,800 teachers.
Can your Honorable Minister state how many vacancies exist for teachers in the primary school system?
So thank you very much, Honorable Member, through you, Mr. Chair. As of January 2026, after conducting our assessment, we would have had just less than 200 vacancies for the
Just under
primaries.
200.
Yeah, less than.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Andrews.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can the honor 6271 line item? So I know you dealt with this in the before, but in the other program, but there's an increase of $181 million here over 2025. Could the minister say if this is for the same new internet connection that she explained in the prior program, and how much connections are those, if it is?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Honorable Member, this increase caters for the payments to be made to NDMA for 70 new satellite connections and 50 upgrades from LTE to fiber. And this line caters for internet bandwidth for 28 schools at $85 million. The line also caters for the phone and telephone charges and internet expenses for 28 primary schools at 18.8 million and 68, education department at lot 68 breakdown.
Thank you very
Would
much.
you like me to list out the schools for you?
That's fine. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Member.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for agency
Mr.
for
Speaker.
program for Honorable Member Dr. Barker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So referring to line item 6253 rather, maintenance of drainage and irrigation works. Mr. Chairman, can the Honorable Minister identify which primary schools are going to benefit from this intervention?
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Chair, that line item has zero.
Zero?
I didn't check. So, Honorable Dr. Barker, if it's zero, we can't put it.
Noted.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for program 404 primary education current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Let us turn to page 534. And I propose a question that the sum stated for program 404 primary education capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. The honorable member, Ms. Nima Flubes.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Project code 1215400. Which school is provisioned for under this allocated sum? And how much of this allocated sum will be paid for retention?
Honorable.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Our rollover is 2.3 billion, sorry. We have the, how much? Okay. So that caters for several schools for retention, a retention payment for schools, and also allocations.
Honorable member. Honorable member,
putting it,
you should
guys?
look over your left shoulder. Honorable member, Sharma Solomon.
Just a quick one, Mr. Chair. I know the minister was very good to try to see the Bamia Primary School completed under our ministry. I don't know under this ministry if we had that program handed over and if it's okay enough and it's anything that is needed in the budget now that it's handed over for completion. Because I've not heard of a completion, I've heard of a meeting the deadline in terms of liabilities and defects, period.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Yes, the Bamia School is finally completed. As you know, when I was there, it had moved a good 45–50%. And now it is not only completed, but it is operationalized. Students are there. We've had no complaints since then.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Minister.
Minister.
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for program 404, primary education capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, let's turn to pages 226 and 227. And I propose a question that the sum stated for Agency 40, Program 405, Secondary Education Current Expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable member, Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to return, Honorable Minister, to the survival rate. It's a much nicer term than dropout rate. You have a figure at number 1 on the indicators of 8,243 students writing the CXC examination. If I go back 5 years to 2020, there were 14,730 students who wrote the common entrance, or I'm showing my age, sorry, secondary schools entrance examination. That suggests to me, I might be missing something here, that your survival rate is actually 56% and not the 72% that is shown, unless you're going to tell me that the difference is 16% who actually went all the way to fifth one but just didn't bother to turn up for the exam. I'd like some clarification on this, please.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much, Honorable Member. I beg to differ with your percentage, but not on the basis of which you are advocating. I beg to differ because you're not catering for, and this particular narrative that is in the estimates is speaking to public schools. You're not catering for the private schools at all, and that number, that difference is also in the private schools.
A follow-up, please, Mr. So just for clarification, you're saying that let's go with the 8,243 who wrote the exams. You're saying this number does not include private schools?
This is the public schools. What I'm saying to you is that you're looking at a figure from when they wrote NGSA all the way to what you assume would them being in form.
I just want for clarity, just want a yes or no answer.
Honorable members, we're not in a magistrate's court where you can say yes or no.
Mr. Chair, I take it back.
Once we start with policy,
yeah, I'm
right,
so
the minister
guided,
is
sir.
free.
Right. But
So-
all I wanted is clarity.
Yeah.
The 14,730 would have been the total number of students who wrote the SSEE. And you're saying the 8,243 are only those who wrote SSEE in public schools.
Yes, that is exactly what it says here. Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate Examination in public schools.
And so you're saying that the difference between...
No, she's not. Don't impute. She's giving you a particular answer for which we have to build up a number of other criteria. Yeah, but just ask it objectively, but I'm concerned about the inflections. Go ahead.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I'm asking whether the difference of 16% is perhaps in the private students, those who wrote in, and do you have a number of how many students wrote from private schools in 2025?
We do have the number in private schools. I don't have it here, but the 16% that you're talking about is definitely inclusive of those in the private schools.
Is there a possibility at some point that that number can be laid over?
Honorable Member, Mr. Rupnarain.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Um, Volume 2, Indicator 23. Can the Honorable Minister provide a disaggregation when it says the total number of schools at the secondary level? Can there be a disaggregation of the number of board schools, non-board school, and primary top?
Soon it will be.
We're going to invite the two honorable members that are shouting across the room to step outside.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair. Honorable member, we have 6 to 5 board schools, 8 to 1 non-board schools.
And the primary tops?
No.
Primary tops, which will reduce to less than 30 by June 2020.
Yeah. So you have 7 to 1 on the primary tops, but we are looking primary tops. We're looking to significantly reduce that to in the 30s by June of 2026.
By this year. That
Yeah.
was my follow-up to that. All right, thank you.
Honorable Member, Dr. Barker.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Chair. Follow up on same volume 2, I'm looking at indicator 25, percentage of secondary schools with computer labs, computers for pedagogical purposes. And I noted it's 100%. Can the Honorable Minister confirm that these labs and these computer labs are fully functional?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. So while we have 100%, regional IT support first officers be in these labs.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Mr. Chairman, I would like to draw the attention to line 6281, line item 6281, security services on the program 405. Honorable Minister, we've noted recently that there has been an increase in violence in school. And we have also seen that teachers have been attacked recently. Now the allocation has dropped significantly for security services. Can you say, or can you give a rationale for that?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. First of all, the security is for the infrastructure, which is the school building itself and the compound. And the drop that you're speaking of,
325, same as budget.
yes. So it is actually the same as the budget of 2025. You see? 2026 and 2025.
Oh, it's not.
The same as the budget, but less than what we spent.
Oh, not the revised, but budgeted.
Actual budget for 2025 was 325.88. The revised budget 371, and then you are now in 2026. We are asking for an allocation of 325.88, which was the same as the actuals for 2020. As the budget, sorry, for 2025.
Mr. Thank
And
you.
if I may, Honorable Member, through you, Mr. Chair, there are a number of things that are being employed at the moment to tackle bullying. One of those things was to launch the anti-bullying campaign. That is not just a talk shop. It is going to materialize into an MOU followed by action. And it is a public consultation, getting the recommendations, suggestions from the public. We have right now from that first public consultation over 500 recommendations and suggestions that we're working through. Plus, we are also today, His Excellency also announced a panic app that will be installed very soon, very shortly, correct? And we will be utilizing that as well. So there are many measures that will be employed over the next year.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Can the Honorable Minister state what measures, based on what you just said, what measures will the ministry, your ministry, employ to assist teachers or to ensure the safety of teachers as it relates to security services? And might I add the safety of both teachers and students, since we have gangs coming into schools, going into schools?
Arising from these consultations, what we are aiming to do at the very least is to establish standard operating procedures that will, policies that will become standard operating procedures in the school system. And at the highest, we would like to look at legislation that will work for the safety and security of our children and teachers. But the ministry we have adopted, and we continue to do that, a zero tolerance approach to students hitting teachers. As you know.
Thank you very much, Minister.
Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put the
Mr.
question.
Speaker, just quickly.
Honorable
Thank you, sir. One
Chief Whip.
question. The student to train teacher ratio is, I think it's 17 to 1. And this, I would just like to ask the minister if you can see how many teachers are in this program, employed at a secondary level.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. We have 6,800 teachers.
And vacancies, please.
Thank you very much. So we have less than 100 vacancies, but it's more in the TVET areas.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for Program 405 of Agency 40, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Let us turn to page 534. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Program 405, Secondary Education Capital, stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Ms. Dawn Hastings Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to draw our attention to project code 1215500 secondary schools. And my question will be specific, Madam Minister, in terms of Jawala Secondary School and Philippi Secondary School, both of which I know work have started.
Thank you very much. So we are looking at an end date in July of 2026 for Philippi. And for Jawala, we are also looking at July.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you.
Honorable Member, Ms. Nima Flubes.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Same line item. Project code 1215500. Can the Honorable Minister state which school is provisioned for under this allocated sum?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. So we have a rollover amount of $11 billion for several schools, and we have new schools as well, not under that sum. The new schools, we have the reconstruction of secondary with modern structure at Ramadan Secondary. You have the synthetic track at North Rumvelt. Reconstruction of the school at Agricola PIC. Construction of building to house laboratories and auditorium at JC Chandy Singh School, Phase 2. And that's it.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Duncan, follow-up?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Uh, in relation to JC Chandy Singh Secondary School, can the Honorable Minister say what is the current status of works at that institution?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. So the actual completion date for JC Chandy Singh, or the month of completion, is August 2026.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Duncan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Madam Minister, could you tell us about the outstanding work and completion date for the Osoro Secondary School, Region 1? In addition to that, could you tell us also about the works outstanding, perhaps in percentage, and completion date for the secondary school at Tabachinga Secondary? And also, Minister, could you tell us about the works outstanding and completion date for the secondary school at Korasabai?
Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Honorable Member, Hosororo Secondary School, as you know, we opened a teaching block very recently, and it's accommodating a number of students, but it's at 70% completed. Its actual completion date will be in March of 2026.
Honorable Member. Go ahead.
Korasabai Secondary, we have a completion date of June 2026, and that's about 70% as well. Completed.
Honorable Member, Mr. Solomon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, there was a portion of the question that is still outstanding. Tabachinga Secondary School.
Tabachinga.
Thank you very much. Tabachinga doesn't fall under the Central Ministry.
Thank you very much, Comrade Chair. Just with the follow-up on the Christianburg Wisma Multilateral Secondary School, there is a deadline for the November this year. Just to follow up on the amount of works, percentage of where it is, and is it still to meet that November 17 deadline set last year for completion?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Honorable Member, this is a World Bank project, and it's actually on track to being completed in February of 2027.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Duncan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. A follow-up to the same project code. Minister, could you tell us for Hosororo Secondary School, where are the students? I know there's the dorms are unfinished and the teachers live in quarters. Where are those persons being housed at the moment?
Honorable Minister.
Primary tops have been closed at Wauna, and Hosororo primary top those have gone.
So from they are still in the primary tops, but there are two primary tops that actually closed off because they have moved into the new teaching block at Hosororo. So several other primary tops, they are being taught in.
The question is where are they being housed?
They live in the areas, yes.
Honorable Member, Mr. Solomon. Honorable Member, Mr. Andrews.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Program code 1215500. The Honorable Minister mentioned the North Rumvelt Multilateral Synthetic Track. Could the Honorable Minister say what is the total cost of that project?
Thank you
Honorable
very much, Mr.
Minister.
Chair. That's a new project, and we have to go to national tender for that.
The only reason I ask is because you mentioned it here, and the total of all the projects together is 57 billion, and the allocation of 12 billion this year. So I'm just thinking, is there a number that you had in mind when this budget was created for that specific project? I mean, it might vary whenever you go to tender, but there must be some.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. We do have a projected sum,
Thank you.
which is 100 million, 100 million as a projected sum. But of course, when we go to national tender.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The honorable member, Mr. Duncan.
I just had a quick follow-up. I omitted one of the schools I wanted to ask about, NAPI in Region 9, completion date for NAPI.
The actual school building is completed already, but there is a TVET building that is being constructed, so we're just finished. But students are in the school.
And for that TVET building, Minister, through the chair, when is that expected to be completed? And are the teachers' quarters also, is that completed?
By the end of March 2026, through the chair.
Thank you very much, Minister. Honorable members. Honorable member, Mr. Barker.
Hi, Mr. Chair. I'm just following up on the honorable member, Mr. Duncan, along with related to completion dates. I would like the honorable minister to state what is the completion date for the Neem Secondary School.
Minister.
Thank you very much, honorable members. So we're looking at the end of March 2026, and you already have half of those students in the being housed in 2 of the teaching blocks. Yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Through the chair, a quick follow-up. Honorable Minister, can you say if all the works at Tushin Secondary School have been completed?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. But all of the majority of the work, they might just have a minor works to be done, and that's just defects.
Quick follow-up through the chair.
Go ahead.
Honorable Minister, could you say the completion date for those quick works as you mentioned?
Honorable Minister.
So thank you very much, Honorable Chair. So the retention date is actually in March, so you still have that period for that to be finished.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable member, Mr. Campbell.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Honorable Minister, you mentioned a TVET building at NAPI. Pure TVET secondary schools? Or stream, let's say, because CXC now offers TVET subjects, so there are people who may want, and it's been done in other jurisdictions, where from 3rd to 5th form, it's just purely TVET subjects.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So we are looking to, as our manifesto had stated, to expand the TVET program. Every single region will have a TVET center by the end of 2026.
Thank you for your endowment, Mr. Chair. Mr. Minister, same project code 1215500. Secondary schools and facilities. I am just curious, Madam Minister, to know if you have allocated any sums of money under this project code to rebuild a dormitory at Madia. That was what, is there any allocation?
Honorable member through the chair, no, we don't have that in this budget.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I'd like to take us back to the volume 2. One quick question. It says here that the number of children enrolled at the secondary level is at 66,000. Pardon? I'm number 13, I believe. 66,000. But the number of students to benefit from the Because We Care Crash Grant and uniforms at 55,000. Can the minister, and the same thing in 2025, there is a shortfall between the number of students actually enrolled and those that actually receive the cash grant. Can the honorable minister state what accounts for the shortfall?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. The grade 11 is not, included here. Because they leave the school system.
Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for Program 405 Secondary Education Capital Expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Let's turn to pages 228 and 229, honorable members. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Program 406 Post-Secondary Tertiary Education Current Expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipur.
Thank you very much, Comrade Chairman. I've been waiting patiently. Sir, may
Well
I?
rewarded.
May I? How many minutes do we have for this? May I ask you, please, sir?
Right now, it looks like we have about 30 minutes remaining.
Excellent. So may I start with the employment cost for the University of Guyana on the line item 6301? May I ask the Honorable Minister, how many staff members does this sum cater for? And if she can specify in terms of the number of UA staff and the number of UB staff.
Honorable Minister.
If they open in London, capital. If they're building one in London, you could ask if there's provision in capital.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Honorable member, you have 2,148 for Turkine and 184 for Berbice.
Thank you, Minister.
Sir,
Go ahead.
Thank you. The second part of the question was, and I'm specific here about Turkine. Can you tell us of this 2,148 total staff member at Turkine, how many are UA staff and how many are UB staff?
Thank you very much, honorable member. It's about 1,500 UA and the remainder will be UB.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, a follow-up. May I ask the Honorable Minister, is there a standard salary for lecturer that is a professor, or does it vary in terms of which course they are teaching, or is it based on their contract? Yeah, as a professor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. No, there are different salary scales.
Okay, and that will apply also for the other lecturers, even though they may have the same qualification as a master or 2 degrees or
According to
1
the
degree.
designation.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, may I ask the Honorable Minister if there is a lecturer to student ratio for the respective classes, or any amount of student can go to a class based on the capacity?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So it's about 50 to 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, may I ask the Honorable Minister, under the line, other goods and services purchased, and with the free education across the tertiary institutions, I see there's a decrease here from 904,426,000 to 865,772,000. May I ask the Honorable Minister, with the increase in students and with the increase in services provided, if she can explain why the decrease?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. The specific line item that you're talking about is which one?
Other goods and services purchased.
Come on, you have a number there. What's it, 6284, 6292?
No, but I'm on page 730, which gives the breakdown, and they don't have any number allocated to it. No. Appendix T.
So the variance is that accreditation happened in 2025, and that is not necessary in 2026, as well as there would have been equipment that was bought last year that is not needed this year.
Excellent. So on the other operating expenses, I noticed there is also a decrease there from 514,358,000 to 492,266,000. May I ask the Honorable Minister for a similar explanation?
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. So that was the student refunds that you don't have to do in 2026.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, may I ask the Honorable Minister for utility charges, knowing that there are some additional buildings, I think, that are going to be constructed there at the University of Guyana, and the additional expense for utility, I'm also seeing a slight decrease there, somewhat of the same figure. If the Honorable Minister can say if this will be sufficient to cover the utility charges at the University of Guyana.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. So you have an increase at Turkine that caters for the new College of Medical Sciences building, right? Which will increase the consumption. That's what you're asking.
So the consumption will increase, but the sum of money that is going to be budgeted for is basically just slightly below what was expended in 2025. So how will the University of Guyana cover for this additional consumption?
So 2025, I'm advised that there were some arrears that needed to be paid off. That was paid off, and so that's not necessary again this year.
Okay.
Or that's not, that we don't have to cater for that this year.
Sir, may I ask the Honorable Minister, what is the total capacity in terms of student intake at the University of Guyana Turkine campus?
So thank you very much, Mr. Chair. The honorable member would be aware that for some time now, the University of Guyana is not right. It's not only physical in person, it's also virtually. So when you're talking about capacity, you need to clarify what you are talking about, or which one you're talking about.
In terms of being physically present on the campus. And if the university is moving in a direction, sir, into virtual platform, which is good.
So I'm really happy that you brought up this question actually, because one, the capacity is about 5,000, and what we have seen since the removal of the fees and that, the government implemented the free university initiative from January of 2025, there has been an increase in applications to the university. And as a result, right, over 16,000. And as a result of that, we have actually looked at creating seating in various regions. So for example, if you're from region 3 or region 6 or region 2, and you're applying for medicine, for example, or engineering, you can remain right in your region and do that. So we're creating the seatings there as well. And right now we have seating being created at the ETI, which is the Essequibo Technical Institute, and it has a capacity right now of about 40 students for engineering. Then you also have Region 16 campus that is also taking off about 40 to 45, and IDC, which is taking about 2,000. So in addition to that, the Ministry of Education would have worked with the University of Guyana to have about 150 new seats for medicine. So we are looking at creating that kind of, so it's not just virtual, but it's a platform that is both virtual. We have a virtual platform, it's a hybrid system, so
Yes.
physical and virtual.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman,
Go
a follow up. Sir, if every Guyanese can acquire a degree, at least a first degree, that will be excellent. And if the platform that allows them is the virtual platform and the physical platform, even better. But education, sir, is beyond just going to a classroom, virtually or physically, and acquiring your degree. Physical presence at the university, and I can attest to this, has great value in the sense that you can dwell with other people from various other social societies. You can join clubs and so on. You can participate in sports. It builds the individual into a better person, and it really improves the quality of the individual beyond just having the paper, the degree, and the diploma, or the campus life is a good life. Is there any movement from the Ministry of Education and the University of Guyana to further develop the University of Guyana so that we can return, even if it is in part, a physical presence on campus also, and mesh it with the virtual platform for academic improvement and generally educational improvement of our people?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So what you have existing now is actually 92 clubs at the University of Guyana. Then the classes, whether virtual or otherwise, they have to meet at least once per semester. So what is also important to note is that we will be conducting a rapid assessment of at the University of Guyana to determine the skills needs for the existing transformation that is taking place, as well as for future needs, and looking to align the training with that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, may I have a follow-up on employment? May I ask the Honorable Minister, how many of the UA staff, the 1,500 UA staff that we have, how many are professors? How many have their the masters? And how many have their first degrees?
Thank you very much. So they don't actually have teachers who are, or lecturers who are just have their first degree. You all anymore. You have tutors now. You also have 1/3 with their masters, 1/3 with PhD, and about 10% of them that are professors.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and let me join with you, with your permission, in acknowledging Professor Paloma Mohammed and congratulate her for the excellent job she's doing at the University of Guyana as the Vice Chancellor. Thank you very much, sir.
Much honorable member, Mr. Mahipal, and for the Honorable Sharma Solomon.
I just thank you very much, Comrade Chair. And just quickly to the minister, I know you spoke of seating, and just to the point of the university and its expansion, do you see this applying to Region 10, or it's seating, or do you see a campus being looked towards for Region 10, as we saw complementing Region 6 in the Tain area?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. So yes, Region 10 is included in that, and we are looking at IDC is already in Region 10, and we're looking at the engineering and medical fields as well.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you very much.
Honorable Member, Professor Hines.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Madam Minister, I noticed on the line item 6301, education grants and subventions. Can you tell us who or what are the projected recipients of those subventions and grants?
Which table is it? There is a table at the back of the book that has all the recipients of the subvention listed.
I withdraw. And can you say
Page
what's
490.
the criteria for those subvention and grants? Yeah.
Minister?
So these are actually what you're seeing at the back there. These are the TVET institutions that historically would have been given grants. And it's listed on page 487 of volume 1.
Quite clearly set out. Honorable Member, Mr. Campbell.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just in relation to seating in the medical school in the outer regions 2, 3, 6, is that for the entire program or just for the basic science portion of the medical degree?
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much. One thing that we are very pleased about is that at the end of, is it January, December, you announced the pre-med? December.